There we go. Are we back? I hope we are. I don't know what's going on there. Hang on. I just need to put back into Discord. Hopefully you can all hear me though. If not, then we're going to have to restart the stream. But Ruti leads the way. Tom in second, Macho in third, as there is a spinner coming out of the second chicane. That's Charlie out of the race. Charlie, unfortunately, out of the race. Jesse, my friend, I've missed you. What on earth happened there?
Your internet has gone down.
Yeah.
Stream also.
No, but I think the stream's back working fine now. I hope it is anyways, otherwise I'm just commentating to absolutely nobody at this point. Yeah, 2 laps to go on the race. Ruti leads the way, Tom in second, Macho in third. And now Tom coming on the back of Ruti, defends the inside line in towards turn number 1, tries to go for the move, doesn't in the end. Ruti holds the lead, Tom in second, Macho in third. Hopefully the stream is back up. Apologies. Apparently, my internet decided to disconnect from my laptop and then just automatically reconnect back, so don't know what happened there. It happened. Ruti leads the way, Tom in second, Macho in third.
Yeah, for the stream, by the way, someone has to change the title because it's now Bahrain and a Tokyo, because that is season 15 Brazilian.
Oh god. Neil Donald saying the sound apparently is 5 seconds behind the footage, which is not great. I will try and sort that out if I can, in due course. I'm not sure why it's syncing. However, though, Tom on the back of Ruti to the outside line through cover del Serraglio gets the job done down the straight. He's now going to try, maybe, and burn Ruti outside of slipstream range. Ruti, though, right there. Macho, right there. And in point-scoring position as well. Name changer, by the way. Not in point-scoring position. Down there in 11th position. He is very much struggling at this stage. But Tom leads the way. Ruti in second. Macho there in third. As we now go on to the final lap of the race. And nearly got 3 wide in the background, actually. Valkeo and Ivo. Valkeo to the inside line. Gets the job done on Ivo. Through parabolic. Beautiful stuff from the Irishman. He's into 7th. But now Ruti's coming back at Tom once again. Has he got the straight line streets again? I don't think he has. He hasn't got the battery. 220 mile an hour on the back of Tom. And in the end, has to hold on for second. Gets caught on the inside curb and gives Macho a look in potential on the final lap.
Ruti is really close, but yeah, Tom, he will push his ERS this whole lap on the straight. Because Ruti almost on 0%. And Tom, he has still 20s, almost 30 of ERS.
Yeah, definitely so, but Tom there leading the way from Ruti in second, Macho there in third. As I say, hopefully I'll be able to fix the audio if I can. It is coming through fine, by the way, on my end, which I really don't get. It's coming through absolutely fine on my end. But Tom leading the way, Ruti there in second, Macho there in third, and now Tom has gapped Ruti, I think, for this race victory. Running down the straight, the Red Bull's doing a phenomenal job at this point. Ruti there in second, Macho there in third. Felix and Noah, I don't think are going to be involved in this, but it's Tom now coming through the final couple of corners on the run towards the right-hander of Parabolica once again. Toyn has picked up a 3-second penalty further down. Macho has tried his utmost to try and get Ruti as Rocco was out of the race, coming through Ascari. Toyn also collecting it up in that instant as well. There's also McLaren, I think, involved, but Tom to the line wins in Italy in the sprint from Ruti in second, Macho there in third, Felix there in fourth. Couldn't get as more dramatic as that. Tom takes the win. Ruti in second. Macho crucially though, Jesse, in third, in the points, and gaining extra points on Jensen.
Yeah, now he needs to keep that up. Gaining and gaining more and more points to keep that championship alive, of course. But yeah, do I get bonus points for getting my prediction right?
Did you get it spot on?
Yeah.
You got it absolutely spot on. Well done, you. Well done, you. It's very rare that we get a prediction right between us. So yeah, well done.
What I also saw at the end of this sprint race that Rakino had to win anymore.
Yeah, I have a feeling he got put up in that incident with Rocco and Toyn. Certainly there was an issue coming through Ascari, through the middle of Ascari on the exit of the corner. But in the end, out on top, Tom takes the win from an all finish, second and third actually. Ruti there in second, the Dutchman of Macho, who's apparently a Finn, there in third, and we'll get the results for the sprint up there. Tom takes the win by 8/10 for second, from Ruti there in second, Macho there in third, Felix there in fourth. Noah Jones, what on earth happened to him in terms of his pace in the final few laps? He's there in fifth, one to watch out for certainly in the feature. Ivo there in sixth, Keki in seventh, while Kale there in eighth, name changer in ninth. Indigo ran off the top 10 and 0 and 11. Pelly in 12th. Mr. Age in 13th. They were the finishers. with Rocco Toyne obviously out on the final lap of the race, with Charlie DNFing, I think, 3 laps for the end, coming through after an incident at the second. Lesmo, but Tom out on top, Ruti in second. I'm going to flick back to the track map for a second, just while I try and fix things with the Elgato. But, Jesse, we can speak about, certainly, that sprint, and it was a sprint race, really, that caught the eyes of the drivers, and certainly brought Macho back into play in terms of the championship.
Yeah, Macho now needs to gain 8 points in this feature race by picking up the podium in that sprint race. As Ivo saying in the Discord, who's that P8 Williams? He is dangerous. So
P8 Williams, was that a name changer by any chance?
no, I think that was Quarkio and he had no front wing. I think I saw it already earlier, like in the Lesmos.
Very interesting. I am now getting absolutely no game sound whatsoever, so whatever I've just done, it hasn't fixed things. Hopefully it's just because we're in the game, we're in the loading screen at the minute. Hopefully we'll hear roaring engines come through. There is certainly a little bit of flickering of green on my end, so I think the Elgato is back working. I've just literally tried to unhide it and then rehide it, or rehide it and then unhide it again, so maybe that's worked. If it hasn't, you're just going to have to cope with things. I might try and just turn things down potentially in terms of the game sound, as we are going to have a look at the predicted pit stop strategies. You went ooh there, so I'm guessing there's a few rogue ones in there. Tom on a set of mediums, Ivor on a set of mediums.
Yeah, the rest on the hard tires. I didn't expect that. I expected most of the field to be on mediums, but it's just only Ivo and Tom.
No, I think hards are the better call around here, actually. I think hards are the better tyres to be on at this point in the race, certainly. And medium compounded tyres, if there's an early safety car, they are going to get beyond lap 13, lap 14 is where I'm expecting them to pit in. Tom and Ivor will be forced into early stops if things do not occur out on track. And if they don't, Tom and Ivo, short term, brilliant strategy call from Tom, brilliant strategy call from Ivo. However, as I say, there's a safety car around lap 10, lap 11. They're going to be absolutely done for on that set of hards. Everyone can come in for set of mediums, try and get to the end at that point. And if that is the case, then Tom and Ivo may potentially be out of position come the end of the race.
Yeah, that could be, but at the start of this race, they will be the quickest, of course. But yeah, what gap can Tom get to the rest of the field, of course? He had decent pace in the sprint race, so yeah, let's see what he can do on that medium set of tires.
Yeah, let's see what he can do indeed. If the sound, by the way, is still 5 seconds behind what the sound is coming through, I apologise. It's normally not this bad. I can only assume it's because OBS has decided to reconnect and everything's just a little bit all over the place. Hopefully it fixes itself. If it doesn't, we're just going to have to cope with things, I'm afraid. And hopefully we will get back to racing, as apparently it says we are actually in Bahrain.
Yeah, I already mentioned that earlier on.
Yeah, that's taken us.
Thumbnail.
That has taken us to a different stream key, I think. We're on an automatic stream key. That's what that's done. So hopefully everything is now fine in terms of the sound. If it is, brilliant. If not, then this is a stream for free, basically. But there we are. At least the feature race, the sprint got over and done with before we actually capsized in terms of LBS. However, though, the 5 lights now going out. Let's take it from Macho's perspective. 5 lights now going on in Italy. Round number 9, off and racing, and Tom leads the way down in towards turn 1. Ruti gets a very good start, not getting a good start though as Felix bogs down off the start, down in towards turn 1. Luckily it's a long run, so he can try and gain that position back. Ruti though stays in behind, and Tom coming through the rest of field chicane. There's a bit of carnage there in the background. I think Felix certainly got caught up. I was already picking up a 3-second penalty for corner cutting. That is very unfair. There's carnage in the background. Mr. Rage, Coin, Zero, Noah Jones all getting caught up in incidents. Don't know what's happened there in the background of shot, but Tom there leads the way. Ruti there in second, Macho there in third, Ivor there in fourth, Volcao there in fifth, Felix there in sixth. Name changer right on the back there as well. Little bit too squirrely. Felix is off on the gravel as well, slightly on the right-hand side, that is. And he comes out in 11th. Noah Jones and Petty side by side there briefly. But Tom leads the way, reaching second, Macho in third. Don't know what happened in the background. Certainly a lot of carnage coming through the first chicane.
There was a lot of carnage. I saw Ivo got hit by a McLaren into turn 1. That's the reason why I picked up that 3-second time penalty. Because he needed to take the runoff there in turn number 1. There was also a bit of contact between Indigo and Felix, and Charlie is round.
Yeah, Charlie's round, coming out of Ascari. I think he's got caught in the inside curve perhaps, and that's why now he is down at the back of the field. Jensen, by the way, still in qualifying in Lake Sea Division, which I can report. Championship leader, of course. Tom leading the way from Reese there in second. Macho in third. Brilliant start from his perspective. Name changer. Good start from his perspective. Needs to gain more points though. Otherwise, it'll be a two-way fight in terms of the championship as Rocco looks on the back of Keki in towards turn 1. Look at how many drivers are in the pit lane. Charlie Bewley had a spin. Didn't catch any curb, any walls. Look, he's still going there down in 11th. Toyn, Zero, Pelly, Mr. Raid, Felix all got caught up in that collision through the rest of Field chicane, and therefore they are down right at the back of the field, and they really need a safety car, I think, to get back into contention as Tom leads the way. Only by 7/10 of a second though, and to be honest, Tom is having to work very hard, very hard to just get outside of a second. He makes a slight mistake there. There's a yellow flag out of the pit lane. Do not say Torn has just spun out the pit lane.
I think he did. But yeah, Tom, it surprised me that he's not gone further and further. But yeah, Macho, he is really on an advantage if we look at the ERS. But yeah, also for the Mercedes team, as we look to the constructor standings then at the moment with this result, it will be really good news, of course, with AlphaTauri scoring 0 points here.
Yeah, definitely so. Tom there leading the way, Ruti there in second, Macho there in third. Ruti's had to fastest lap the race, and why Ruti is sticking with Tom, he's got less ERS than him. 3% of ERS. He's burnt all of that battery in the first 2 laps of this race just to stick with Tom. Tom, in the end, 24% of ERS. He could now defend that position until his heart's absolutely content. And Macho there in third is now gapped outside for a second. So I wonder if he's had a little bit of a moment there coming out of the first chicane. And Macho now put on the back foot. He's got more ERS than the first 2 combined. So that is positive from his perspective. He needs to get close though and need to try and draw in. There's another yellow flag out on track of its point again. Coming through the Ascari chicane this time around. Lucky got the car back going again, but he is down right at the back of the field now, down in 16th position as Tom leads the way. Ricci in second, Macho down in third, as Noah Jones, the other Alfa Romeo, has crashed coming through the Della Roger chicane, and that is the first safety car of tonight, and that is perfect for everyone who got caught up in collisions, perfect for Charlie as well. Tom leads the way, Ricci in second, Macho in third. Perfect for Tom, perfect for the hard runners. The safety car, I think, helps everyone.
Yeah, of course, for Ivo also to close to the top 3 if he is not gonna pit. But yeah, Noah Jones, he is out of this race here. After a P2, of course, in the qualifying for the sprint. I think he finished in P5 in the sprint race. So yeah, no points for him in this feature race.
Yeah, no points from him in the feature race whatsoever, which is a shame because Noah is not deserving of that whatsoever. He is definitely a much better driver on his day. He is an F1 reserve, of course, in TML as well. And Noah has been up there in recent races. The glimpses of his form were there in the sprint and indeed in the feature. Name changer, by the way. Then the front wing change into the pit lane. Not sure what's going on with name changer. Certainly, front wing changer is more his name here tonight. Turning towards out of the pit lane, coming down and towards turn number 1. I'd laugh at my own jokes sometimes, honestly. Name change there and Aid. Keki in 7th. And I think Rocco might have had a bit of a front wing change there as well. Unless he came in the pit lane behind, which I think he did. He goes on a set of mediums. But Jesse, 23 laps on a set of mediums. They're not going to make it to the end whatsoever.
They need to hope for another safety car. And I think with the hard runners pitting to that set of mediums, that they are expecting another safety car near the middle or end of the race, as Charlie, by the way, has gone to soft tires.
Soft compound tire, which is not too bad actually, because he was on, I think, a set of mediums or a set of hards coming out of the pit lane, one of the two. He's coming back in the pit lane again. Actually, no, he was on a set of hards, and now he's going for a set of softs. So that is not a bad call, actually, from Charlie's perspective. He's there in 10th position, and he's going to be on the quicker tyre short term. Longer term, though, he's going to have to come in the pit lane again. And if we get racing all the way to the checkered flag, that is going to be pretty bad news for Charlie. He is in the points, though. He's ahead of Pelly and Zero now. Toyn, Felix, and Mr. Rage all came in the pit lane as well. Come in for a set of separate, medium and hard compounded tyres. But Tom leads the way. Ruti in second. Macho there in third. I have got YouTube Studio, by the way, so I'm not sure if anybody wants to give me the two-factor authentication if I have to sign in on here. But I will try, if I can, and change the race title without having to go and lag everything on my computer. However, Tom out on top, Ruti in second, match in third. It's poised very nicely indeed, as of course I think we'll have at least one, maybe even two more laps on the safety car.
Yeah, of course. We are now waiting Charlie, Penny, Zero, Toyn, Felix and Mr. Rage to get behind the pack from the safety car.
Yeah, definitely so. And I'm signing the League Racing TV account, which is not that great. Oh, hang on. No, there we go. And I need to add the FRL account. So, yeah, I might have to do two-factor authentication with somebody. Just putting that out there. If you have got access to it, please click yes and let me in and do it. Because I need to remember what the Gmail was now. But I'll try and do it. If anybody wants to do it before me, probably the best thing to do. But yeah, hopefully I can fix it. If not, then things are not going to go according to plan. Yeah, two-step authentication, and it's on Charlie's phone apparently, which is not great because he's writing.
Yeah, I also got good news for the Red Bull fans, if they are in the chat. Team line coming on the 10th of February on Verstappen.com.
A what coming on the 10th of February?
Team line 2023.
What's team line?
Just the kits, etc.
Oh, the kit. Oh, okay, I get you now. I get you now. So yeah, the kits for Red Bull. I get it. Yeah. I thought he was going to announce F1 2023 or something, but then again, we could only live above hope, I guess. Tom leads the way. Ruti in second. Macho there in third. From either one, fourth, Volcano there in fifth. Indigo, Keki, Name Changer, Rocco, Charlie top 10. Pelly, Zero, Toyn, Felix and Mr. Rage. The 15 drivers still going. Noah Jones, of course, after the spin. Coming out of the Dollar chicane, out of the race. That curve is very deadly on this game. As we said, I think it was an RPG or RGP curve that we mentioned. And Noah Jones, of course, getting catched out by that. If I can't get the authentication working, then I'm afraid I can't change the title, which is a shame. Tom leads away, routine second, Macho there in third. If anybody does have the YouTube app handily on their phone and have received a notification, please do it.
Yeah, Parrot already said in the comment that chat was trying to get on FRL channel, so I just replied that is you to change the title. Of course. But yeah, we should go green again this lap then.
We should be able to go green this lap. Somebody's done the authentication. Thank you so much, whoever that person was. I'm now going to try and go in live if I can. And the safety car is going to come in this lap. So this is going to be literally as quick as you like in terms of, there we are, live. Doesn't show the live stream. Do it after the race. Tom leads the way, Ruti in second, Macho there in third. All of that trying and you can't change it to the YouTube Studio app. Terrible. But Tom is the virtual Burb Islander. He's now the virtual safety car, and he is going to be, I think, going very early in terms of this call when the safety car does come into the pit lane. And I would imagine he'll go just before Parabolica. In fact, he's gone now. Tom, on the run toward Parabolica, has already tried to steal away from Ruti, trying to catch him napping In the end, though, Ruti has had to use up a bit more EOS than Tom, as they now come through the final corner on the run to the line, coming out of Parabolica, and Tom now leads the way from Ruti there in second, Macho there in third, while Kale's right on the back of Ivo, running down the straight, and now the Williams on the back of the Ferrari. There's a spinner, and Toyne has crashed out the race through the final corner, not to forget a straight safety car again. Certainly caught up, I think, with Felix Swan and Mr. Rage, but while Kale to the inside line tries to get the job done out of turn number 1, round the outside of the left field chicane at turn number 2, tries to get the job done, now gets the traction out, and the set of hards are clearly better than the set of mediums at this point, certainly from Will Kale's perspective. Indigo's now coming out of the clouds as well to try and get this job done. In the end, though, Will Kale through the 4th, Ivo there in 5th, Indigo there in 6th, Will Kale gets the job done, he's into 4th, nice move, as Indigo, that's a huge moment there. Keki now led into this move around the outside, gets the job done, and Indigo, cold round moment for Indigo, he's lucky to stay alive in that race.
That was good racing from Ivo and Raikio, but yeah, Indigo with a really big moment there in the Denver chicane. Can name changer overtaken maybe? Nope.
No, definitely not. Name changer, I think, is going to sit back and relax and maybe get into the back there with the Aston Martin for a second then towards Scari. However, though, he's on the back there, the NLR man, the IRT man, and in fact, actually, Keki's going past Ivo when the foreground shot goes through on the inside line. A bit of a black screen. Apologies about that if anybody did see that. There was a black screen appeared on my screen. I think it was laptop based. Name changer though, got a phenomenal run on Indigo, and now we'll turn the timing tower off because I want to see this battle side by side. Name changer and Indigo. Indigo has got choice of the DRS. Name changer, is he going to have the legs down in towards turn 1? 215 mile an hour on the brakes in towards turn 1, and beautiful stuff from Name changer. Gets the job done. If that is called a late braking move, then I am called James Head. Name changer through, and he's into 7th. Great stuff.
Really good move from Name Changer up into P7, but Tom, he is gone from Ruti. The gap is 1.1 seconds now. Macho, he's also a bit further behind of Ruti, half a second. And yeah, the battles in the midfield are going on still.
Definitely so, and thank you, by the way, I think it might have been Zook there in the chat who has done it brilliantly in the background of shots, changing the title. And that means we can now focus on the business in hand, and that is, of course, Macho in terms of that championship fight, Name Changer in terms of that championship fight. He is looking to now get maybe on the back of Ivo coming out of the Scari chicane. Ivo's a bit sketchy coming out of a Scari, and this is Name Changer's move every day of the week. And this is beautiful from Name Changer, carving his way through the field, 3-lap pressure tyres, easy as you like. And he's now through, and he's into 6th, Ivo there down in 7th, and Name Changer making it look pretty easy indeed, as now he is through and he's into 6th, and he's now trying to reclaim that form from F1 Esports Challengers.
Ivo really struggling now on that 8-lap old mediums. He's down into 7th. He was, I think, P4 before the safety car restart. Now he's dropped 3 positions already. So I think it is almost time for the Ferrari to take a pit stop.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Set of mediums, lap 9 out of 27. Wouldn't be too bad to come in the pit lane at this point. Rocco, though, on the back of Indigo, looking to try and get the job done. Zabel, by the way, got the job done on Pelly, so that's why he was through and he's into 11th. Pelly there down in 12th position. Tom, though, leads the way. Rusi there in 2nd, Macho there in 3rd, while Kale there currently in 4th position at this point. And Tom has now split Rusi outside of a 2nd. It's been like that for a couple of laps around now. And Macho there in 3rd is right there or thereabouts on the back of the Finn. And the Finn is now going to come under pressure from the NSX man. Can the NSX man try and topple the NLR man? Time will tell, as Mercedes again gets a much better run though. Ruti coming out of a Scari, gains 5 tenths of a second again, and Macho down the straight looks quicker. So if Macho's going to get the job done, should be down towards turn 1, but he hasn't got any ERS.
If those two are gonna battle, it is all in hands of Tom. He's already 2 seconds clear of Ruti now. And we have a spinner at the back, it's the Alpine Valley.
And Keki's through on Volcano as well. Keki through and he's into 4th. That is going to be good news for the Mercedes guys in terms of their constructors fight. Indigo through an Ivo as well, down in towards turn 1. But Pelly round coming out of Parabolic with to corner that quarter mount. Certainly in the first stages of this race, and it's quarter mount again in the second third of the race, if you like. They're down in 14th position. He did say it was going to be one of his worst tracks. He hates this track. I know he hates this track because I commentated on him once around here and he spun quite a few times. Petty there down in 14th. He'd be hoping for safety car. Somebody that won't go at this point is Tom. Out in front, 1.8 seconds the gap. Ruti there in second, Matcher in third. Doing a fantastic job as Tom at this point, but he'd be hoping that those cars can get to the end, and that might be the safety car because Rocco spins out of the first Lesmo, and that is a safety car.
Rocco is out of the Italian Grand Prix. He crashed in the Lesmos, and now is the question. I think that Tom and Ivo are going into the pit lane. The same for the other medium runners, maybe. To switch back to the old set of hards, and Charlie, of course, on the softs is also gonna pit, I think.
I will honestly say at this point, I think everyone will be in. This is perfect. Lap 10 out of 27. Either way, you're getting 16 laps on a set of mediums to the end, and you're getting 16 laps on a set of hards. Tom in the pits, Ruti in, Macho in, Keki can't because obviously he's double stacking. Same with Walkeo. Walkeo is not the one that stays out, it's Name Changer, in fact, the one that stays out. Indigo there in third. Zero, interestingly, I think that is more for constructors rather than anything else. That's why he stayed out. Mr. Rage staying out there as well. They're going to try and get, well, not to the end of the race. I think they must be thinking another safety car will come later on. But the majority of the guys, as expected, in my eyes anyways, Tom out of the pit lane there in sixth, Ruti, Macho, Walkeo, Ivo, Charlie, Felix, Swan and Pelly. And they've been very, very smart, I think, coming in the pit lane. Lap 10 out of 27, perfect for them to get the end of the race. There should be no problems to the end. However, Tom on a set of hards, Ruti on a set of mediums.
Yeah, but Tom, he will have the advantage if we go on to the end of the race, of course. But Ruti, you will have the early advantage on that set of mediums, of course, which are quicker than the hard tires. So yeah, but also, who of them will be the quickest to go through that group?
Yeah, definitely so. Just looking, by the way, it is very pixely coming across on my stream end. I'm not sure if it's coming across on my end, perhaps, in terms of streaming. What I can see is a beautiful clear picture from OBS. So it's the way that OBS interprets my settings. I'm assuming I've got the wrong settings on. I did update everything before I came live. I did update the laptop as well, so it could be that. It might just kick in a couple of days' time. That's what I'm hoping for. Always happens when I update the laptop. Always something seems to go wrong. However, though, Keki now in the lead of the race, Name Changer in second, Indigo in third. And if they have got a chance of coming in to the pit lane, it should be now. However, though, track position, they're not going to come in the pit lane, and they're going to prioritise that track position, certainly. And Tom there in sixth, Ruti there in seventh. They'll be looking to try and gain through on the gaps at this stage. Pelly in there in 13th position. Keki leads the way. Name Changer in second, Indigo in third. Lap 12 out of 27. In what has been so far, Jesse, a very chaotic Italian Grand Prix.
It's expected chaotic, but I think Keki could be really important here in terms for Macho and winning this race to play the team game.
Oh yeah, definitely. It could be that exactly, and that I think certainly from Keki's perspective, he will play the team game out in front. He's going to try and go, I think, as soon as possible underneath the safety car, just to try and maximise the chance that Macho has got on the back of Ruti. Obviously, with Mercedes in the championship battle, they could potentially close up. How it stands at the minute, Zero is going to, Mercedes is still going to be outscoring the AlphaTauri of Zero, because he's the only driver out on the track, and there's two Mercedes. So Mercedes are doing a fantastic job, but at this point in time, Keki leads the way, so he doesn't really have to. He can just keep this pace for his heart's content. Macho there and 8 will be watching out further up the field, I'm sure. Zero, however, will be watching right behind him because Tom is going to be running the back. The safety car is going to come in this lap, and that now means Keki, virtual Bermander, he's now the virtual safety car.
This safety car restart, then when will we go? Will we play the team game? Many questions here then in Italy for the Mercedes team.
Yeah, you've got to think so. You've got to think that he might go very, very soon, I would imagine. It's quicker than Tom's pace, certainly. So he might actually go on the exit of Parabolica, perhaps, in terms of this exit. Keki now coming in towards the final couple of corners. In towards Parabolica. Is he going to say go in towards Parabolica on the or mid corner or on the exit? I think he's going to go on the exit of the corner, which is around about now, I would say. But instead he waits. He waits, and Keki out of the Parabolica now. This is the proper exit of Parabolica. Still not going. Magello-style lineup here in behind, and now he goes. Keki now goes, and there's a big snap there, I think, from Malkeo, who was trying to get the move on Macho done before the start-finish line. Looking to having a Macho's out! Macho's out of the race! What on earth has happened there? And he's left the session! He's retired out on track. What's he done?
What happened there? But at this rate then, Jensen will be crowned FRL Season 16 champion.
Will he though? Oh yeah, name changer didn't pick up any points in the sprint, did he? Name changer needs to win this race, the same contention. He needs 25 points. He needs to win the race. This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know what Xavier was thinking. He's retired in front of the whole field, basically. That's what he's done. If he's had to go somewhere, fair enough. But there are ways and means of doing that. It's literally 2 minutes. There's that Tom and Ruti are side by side. I'll cut myself off because Tom and Ruti side by side down towards the Scari. In the end, Ruti can't find a way through. Tom is going to try and find a way past, though, on the back of Indigo sooner rather than later. And those hard to freshen the mediums early on, which is not what I expected, certainly. Back to what I was going on about with Matcha, though. If he's retired and had to go somewhere, fair enough. There's ways and means. 2 minutes. 2 minutes is all it took for him, possibly, to retire into the pit lane and rather than retire out on track. Frankly, disgraceful, I think, from him. Ruti there in 5th on the back of Tom, though, is going to try and get the move done. Down in towards turn number 1. Rolkeo on the back of Xavier, looking to get the move done. Here comes Ruti on the back of Tom. Tom now has to try and split the pair, go around the inside of turn number 2. And in the end, Ruti can't get the move, and Tom holds on to 4th. And now, Rolkeo's in all of this. Dara, the Irishman, could be on for a race win here.
He could be for the Williams team after that DNF for Macho, of course. But yeah, good defending from Tom there in turn 1, turn 2. So yeah, Indigo is really struggling, so Tom will get his move done.
Macho, I'm assuming he is having a go at, I think it was Mr. Rage, if I'm not mistaken. There's certainly an Alpine that pulled out on him. I think there's been contact down the straight. If he's picked up some wing damage down the straight, Kelly is retired out of the race. That might be another safety car. Ruti might get the job done, and he does. I think Ruti does get the job done. Another safety car out on the track. Ruti, though, crucially, gets the job done ahead of Indigo. That was phenomenal stuff from Ruti. Had to react. There in 4th. Indigo there in 5th. Macho saying he was weaving, and of course I get damage because Ruti was going right and I was going left, and unfortunate. There's ways and means to do it. As I say, I think it's disgraceful to retire out on track. Then again, I don't make up the rules here. Of course, things will be different, but yeah, he shouldn't have retired out on track. Simple, plain rules. There's going to be a harsh punishment coming from him, I know for a fact.
Yeah, I think so as well, as it is not even 2 minutes to retire in the pit lane. But this battle will be really interesting, and I think Ruti and Raikio and the rest of the medium runners at the moment are happy with the safety car, so they can go longer.
Yeah, he does. Name changer that wins the pit lane, so the whole compound tie is on. Championship fight is not over and done with. I make it 25 points for name changer, so he needs to win this race and ideally pick up fastest lap, just so we say. He's there in 7th. Everyone's on a fresh compound of tyres ahead. How's Charlie 5th, by the way? Charlie's 5th in this race after spinning on that one. Doing a phenomenal job. But there, down in 5th position, he has caught the luck. He has caught the luck here tonight. He might be on for a drive of the day performance at this rate as well. Dare not want to ruin him whatsoever. But Tom leading the way, Ruti there in 2nd, Alkeo there in 3rd. And Kaki, a name changer, had to come in for a fresher compound tyre. If you're Ivo, though, you came in for a set of mediums and you thought, why have I got on this tyre? The 10-lap old.
And Zyro, he is on the soft tyres.
He is, which can get to the end of the race. I'd be doubting them, though. I would be really doubting them toward the end.
If you go racing lap 17 or 18, it could be, but it will be really close.
I've just clicked on Jensen's in our chat. What's going on in WR Legacy Division? Is he out the race? Let me have a look.
If he's out of the race, he could beat the race here.
It's qualifying 3. He's out of qualifying 2. That is why he is here. Still qualifying 3 going on. And Namaya is out on top in that qualifying. That's to come second, Max in third. I shouldn't be watching that, but still. 5 drivers for PS, 5 drivers for Xbox in console legacy division for WR Portugal, and its intermediate conditions in qualifying in the third part of qualifying there. So Jensen will not be joining us, I'm sure, for an interview, unless he gets end up at the race out of turn number 1 or something on that one. But Tom leads the way, routine second, Malkeo in third. Jensen certainly doing his calculations, 23 points he says. I say 25. Let's agree to disagree. He needs 24 points. Right in the middle.
Yep. The race wins, of course. And Jensen, I think he has already 5 wins or something now. So yeah.
He does it. I think he's got 6 wins, including the sprint in whatever track the first sprint race was.
I will have a look then.
Hang on, no, actually, let's have a look. I've got them up on the driver's standings on the left-hand side of me.
He won in about 8 seconds.
Yeah, 6 wins.
Yeah.
6 wins, yeah, including that sprint race, of course, a little bit earlier on in the season. It is 6 wins, 5 if you technically discount the sprint race win, but it's 6 wins overall this season. And Jensen saying in the chat, he's got no pace at Portimao. This is why he should have prioritised FRL for a championship. Simple. Tom leads the way with 11 laps to go. He's now the virtual Bert Malander once again. He's now the virtual safety car. Ruti there in second, Malkeo there in third. And Malkeo might just be the one to watch out for in the race. He's snuck up like a ominous lion out on track. He's doing a phenomenal job, the Irishman. And Tom has already gone. Tom has gone on the back of Ruti. Tries to escape outside of a second. But however, he slows the pack down. And Ruti's going to get him. Maybe down in towards turn 1. What is Tom thinking? Ruti to the inside line. Might have just been given P1 out on track. They're bang wheels down the straight, catching each other on the wing mirrors, but Ruti leads the way. Tom in second. In the end, Tom had a perfect restart. He slowed down. What on earth was he thinking? Ruti leads the way. Tom there in second. Malkeo there in third. I never thought I'd see that coming off the start. I never thought I'd see this coming, because Felix is on the back of Malkeo in toward the left-hander of the Delaware chicane. Doesn't get the job done. Ruti now in front. Tom in second. Malkeo in third. He had to slow down for the safety car, but it was green flag racing. He could have just went.
I think the weirdest restart I have ever saw or ever seen.
That was unbelievable. That was actually insane. Ruti had the pace off the start. Or Tom had the pace off the start, and then it just slowed down. I do not know what he was thinking, unless there was an issue, maybe with his wheel or something, which would be fair enough if it was. However, though, in second, he was in the lead of the race. Ruti now leads, Tom in second, Malkeo there in third, Felix there in fourth. Name changer currently down in 8th. As it stands, Jensen will be crowned champion at this point in the season, at this point, of course, in the race. He leads the way, Ruti, from Tom in second, Malkeo there in third. Here comes Felix for the German on the back of the Irishman, looking to try and give retribution for early on in the race. Is he going to look to the inside line and towards turn 1? Maybe. Goes around the outside, tries to think about it. In the end, doesn't get the job done, and Ruti holds the lead. Tom second, Malkeo third, Felix there in fourth. In the end, though, 9 laps to go in this race here in the feature. Hopefully everything now settling down as a result of instance, but Ruti leads. Tom in second, Malkeo in third, Felix in fourth. And my oh my, this is going to be interesting towards the end. And Zavo, he's on the back of Name Changer, which could be quite interesting between the fins.
That could be really interesting. As you said, at this rate, Jensen will be crowned season 16 champion, and at the front it is getting interesting because Ruti, he is now almost pushing Tom outside of the DRS.
Here, Zavo's on the back of Name Changer, not looking quite close enough down the straight, but Ruti leads the way. 7/10 of a second, and I think Tom may have caught on the curb there coming out of a score. He's lost 2/10 of a second. Was within 6/10, now outside of 9/10, and Ruti's going for this. Ruti's gapping him, nearly outside of a second. This is perfect. Tom In second, longer term, his tyres will come into play in the next 3-4 laps. If he stays within a second, he should be fine. But he's got no DRS. In fact, he hasn't got a DRS because there's no DRS enabled on this lap. I'm stupid. Ruti leads the way. Tom in second. Okay, there in third. Felix 7, full table again on the back of name change and not getting the job done in towards turn number 1. But Ruti now has gapped Tom outside of a second, and Tom would have been wishing that he didn't, first and foremost, didn't get that the restart wrong, and second of all, didn't wish that he was outside of a second to Ruti, because he's got absolutely no chance.
Ruti is just flying at this moment. But yeah, also for P3 there was a little battle going on a few laps ago between Raquillo and Felix, of course. Will that continue and maybe gonna be a battle for second with Tom?
It could be. It could be a battle for second with Tom, and Tom is out of DRS range. Raquel isn't, and he's going to close him down the straight. Tom will have to use up every single amount of that DRS to try and get back into contention. He's within a second coming out of Ascari, and he has to burn that battery again. Ruti, though, burns that battery, pulls away from him, and Tom is going to be outside of DRS for a second lap in a row. This is not good news if you're a Tom fan. This is certainly good news if you're a Ruti fan at this stage. DRS detection point was on the exit of the final corner, and Tom, once again, does not have any DRS. Well, KO does, but he's not going to be close enough down the straight. He's simply not going to come from that far back to get the job done. But if you're a Tom fan, Jesse, or if you're Tom at this stage, what would you be hoping for at this stage? Would you be hoping that Ruti makes a mistake in front and then get back in a second?
Just hope the tires from Tom will be quickly getting better and better, of course, than Ruti's tires. On ERS they are quite similar. Tom now on 0%, Ruti almost up to 10%. So yeah, Tom just needs to hope that he doesn't battle too much, or just doesn't battle with Raquillo and Felix for that second place now.
Yeah, definitely so. Mr. Rage as well on the back of Zero. Zero's tyres are already going off the cliff on that set of softs. Really beginning to go off the cliff. Mr. Rage there in 10th, Ivor there in 11th, but Ruti leading the way. Tom, I think, was in DRS range that time around. Yes, he was. Now within 8/10 of a second, he's got a little bit more time to play with. Not that much, though. Only 0.5 of a second coming out of Ascari. That's what he's got to play with. But I think this time around, if he stretches that battery, I think he's going to be in DRS. And yes, he is. 0.9 of a second away. He's within DRS this time around. That is perfect from his perspective as Ruti leads the way. Tom there in second. Volcano there in third. Keki, by the way, is on the back of Charlie. Charlie's tyres have gone completely off the cliff. And here comes Keki to the outside line. Easy as you like. And do you know what? His teammate might even go through as well. Indigo on the back of Charlie running down towards turn 1. 220 mile an hour gaining, but he's not quite close enough. Mr. Rage quite close enough on the back of Zero as well. And still, Ruti leads the way. Tom in second, Volcano there in third, Felix in fourth. It's a four-way fight for the race lead. Name changer, as I say, as it stands, will not be winning the championship and will not be in contention. That means Jensen will win the championship as it stands without even needing to be here.
Now, Tom, I think his tires are getting better now than Ruti's tires. Both 10 laps on it. And Tom is gaining the last 2 laps on Ruti. So when can Tom go for his first attack?
He's got to be patient, I think. He's got to be really, really patient at this stage, because otherwise it is going to end up in a real bad situation in terms of his ERS. And he's got 8% of ERS. Ruti there is on 13. Ruti hasn't got much to defend with. But if I'm in Volcao's position, 35% of ERS coming through Parabolica, I will have the best chance of my life to try and get Tomlin towards turn number 1. He's on the DRS now and on the ERS now and down towards turn 1, but again, he's quick down the straight, but he's not quick enough to gain as Indigo was now through on Charlie. Charlie, I think, may, as Mr. Rage and Zero going to swap positions, I think, down towards turn number 1 as well. Mr. Rage now through and he's into 9th. And Zero there down in 10th. Mercedes, by the way, in terms of the champion because of Macho's retirement, at this stage, Mercedes are outscoring AlphaTauri again, so the gap will be under 30 points, and I make it currently 28 points, I think, between them.
He is now really close in Ruti, but yeah, this will just be on strategy with the DRS, of course, in that final lap.
Yeah, Tom Again, 19% of ERS is not going to use it up down the straight. The DRS though is very potent around this track. Certainly potent if you're in Tom's shoes at this stage. Doing a good job, and Ruti still holding the lead from Tom there in second. Sideways there, Ruti slightly got caught on the outside curb, and Tom draws in down the straight. And look at the straight line speed of Tom. He's not even using up any ERS at this point. He's getting a full 10 down the straight and towards Parabolica, and the Red Bull man might look for the move sooner rather than later, perhaps on the back of the Haas man, the Norwegian, the Finn. Leading the way, Ruti, Tom there in second and third. I think it's just going to wait, but will he have to wait? Because Volcao is closing quickly on the back of Tom and towards turn one. Name change to do on Charlie as well further down the field. But the other Williams gets very close, too close almost to the back there of Tom in the end. Volcao there in third and Felix there in fourth. Doing a fantastic job, but Ruti now having to weather the storm. His advantage of ERS is 5%. If Tom saves up that ERS and lifts and coast through the corners, then it's game on.
It is already game on, I think. It is really close. Tom is gaining and gaining in the corners. His tires are far better than Ruti's tires. So yeah, but I think it still will be a last lap overtake from Tom maybe.
It could be. It could be. I think he's just waiting either that or penultimate lap of the race, similar to the sprint, and then try and go for it. I think Ruti, though, will be very, very much realising that Tom did that to him in the sprint. He's not going to do it again in the feature, and Ruti will defend as hard as possible if he wants this race win. And I'm assuming Race's instinct will take over, and that instinct will be to win the race, as Mr. Rage puts up a 3-second penalty further down the field. We haven't had many penalties, by the way, this race. Mr. Rage on 6, Ivor on 3, are the ones that are still going in this race that have picked up penalties. I think Kelly might have had a penalty a little bit early on in the race. Felix is catching Malcao quickly down and towards turn one. The German on the back of the Irishman. The Irishman going to go for Tom as well. Felix falls out to the inside line, looks, doesn't get the move. Malcao nearly forces Tom into the braking zone there at turn number 1. Ruti still leads, Tom in second, Malcao in third, and it's still bubbling up very nicely between the front four. One of these four will win the Italian Grand Prix.
Yeah, the top 4 is within a second at the moment. It is really close with 3 laps to go now here in
Ruti ran a bit deep in toward the Delarod chicane. Tom was there, but not going to get the move done there. But Ruti is now under pressure. You can see it. He is under so much pressure. They're both saving up ERS, but Tom has got level ERS. In fact, he's got 2% more. Tom has got 2% more ERS now all of a sudden than Ruti. The lifting and coasting into the corners has worked, and Tom, once again, lifts and coasts into the corners. Ruti's at a disadvantage in terms of ERS. It's 5% all of a sudden. Tom driving out of his shoes in second. Volcao there in third. Felix there in fourth. Tom there on the back has got Volcao all on the back of him, and he might have to be forced to move this lap around, let alone on the lap, as Ruti was very deep through Parabolica, and the Haas now is under so much pressure. Tom is going to have to be forced into the move, I think, by the Irishman, who is very quick down the straight as well. Felix is now keeping up with them. He is drifting back, though, as they run down towards turn 1. Tom to the outside line, invited for the move. Ruti to the inside line will defend the position. Tom on the inside line, they lead each other coming out of the Metrofield chicane, and Malcao gets a brilliant exit compared to Tom. Might even get around the outside of Cavaconde. In the end though, Ruti into the lead, Tom there in second, Malcao there in third, and remain as they are. Great fight in towards the Metrofield chicane, and Malcao is just going to be there, hoping above hope that one of these two either make a mistake, get into contact, and he can win the race, or one of these guys can run low on fuel. And speaking of running low on fuel, Ruti is really dangerously low in terms of fuel.
Yeah, I see the red icon showing there on the right bottom of my screen with Jeff Felix. As we look at the ERS, he is in big advantage now.
Big advantage for Felix, but has he got the pace? He was gapped 6 tenths of a second. And in terms of the DRS getting back into contention, okay, a bit of a mistake there coming out of Ascari. Tom, more significant mistake. He lost 4 tenths of a second there to the back of Ruti. Now coming down once again. As I say, one of these four is going to win it. Keki is getting closer though. to the pack. The hard runners are beginning to come into play. Keki and Name Change are not out of this at all. This all hell breaks loose in front. Keki and Name Change will be right there towards the end. Tom now has to try and force the move to the inside line. Ruti doesn't see him coming. Felix is through and Malkeo as well. They're side by side into the braking zone at turn number 1. But Tom is through and he's into the lead. And Malkeo is going to try and hang on for third. Felix gets a bit of contact there. Purely, I think, on the camber of the corner. Malkeo there holds third. Felix in fourth. Bit of contact there. It was fair racing. They just lent on each other simply. Malkeo and Felix now pretty much out of contention. One of these two, Tom and Ruti, it seems, will win the Italian Grand Prix.
The advantage for Tom in ERS is also there, so he can push that if needed, but he's gaining so much time in the corners the last few laps on that set of hard tires, so I think Tom is with one hand on the trophy.
One hand on the trophy, certainly not one hand on the championship. He's going to be coming nowhere near the championship as Indigo has dropped down behind Charlie, so Charlie through and he's into 7th. Mr. Ray just coming from a mile back as well on the back of Indigo, looks at the outside line. In the end, Needy goes in the gravel, and that is him, I think, out of contention in that battle. That's for sure. The Aston Martin will come home 7th and 8th. But Tom leads through Parabolica 4, the penultimate time out on track. Ruti there in 2nd, Volcao there in 3rd. Ruti on that ERS. He is not getting 6.5 tenths of a second back, even with the quickest car. Felix, though, might. He is the outside line of turn number 1, and do you know what? He's even through on Malkeo before turn number 1. Felix Rooney's into 3rd, maybe into a podium position. Ruti not close enough to the back of Tom. Felix and Malkeo are not out of contention just yet, but Tom has control of the race from the front. Ruti there in 2nd, draining up his battery, coming through Curva Grande. He's trying to get closer to the Finn on the back of the brick. In the end of the brick, holding sway, and with half a lap to go, Tom has got ultimate control on this race. Ruti's still there though.
Nero gets the fastest lap for AlphaTauri on a new setup, so but can Ruti go for the move? Tom and Keki is out.
Keki is out of the race. That's good news for Name Changer in terms of his battle with Macho, because I think he actually overtakes him now in terms of that championship fight for 2nd. Tom now, though, leads the way down and towards Ascari in what has been a very thrilling the last 11 laps of this race. After that safety car restart, Tom has weathered the storm, the Red Bull. He now comes through the final couple of corners. Felix is flying at Ruti though. Ruti's running very low on fuel, and Felix might get 2nd in towards Parabolica. Comes to the outside line. The McLaren might get the switchback. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Tom's going to win it however you look at it. Felix now might get the drag to the line. This is going to be close. Felix and Ruti. Ruti hangs on for 2nd. I don't know how many thousandths of a second that is. It's 5 thousandths. 5 thousandths of a second in the end, and Felix gives a love tap to Tom just to boot up. Right side end plate damage on the car. Tom takes the win. We didn't cover him across the line because that was brilliant across the line. Ruti in 2nd, Felix in 3rd, and Felix, I am sure, is going to be banging his hands on his steering wheel right now and just think, why? Why was I 5 thousandths of a second behind in 3rd? Ruti will be pumping his fists at this point. And he'll be pumping him because he's finished 2nd out on track. Phenomenal drive and a phenomenal drag race. And if that was 50 yards longer, Felix would have had him.
Yeah, but the most important here in Monza, we have our champion crowned for F1 Season 16 here in FRL. Jensen is champion.
Yeah, fully deserved. Fully deserved from his perspective. Did a fantastic job. But in the end, oh, what a drag race to the line that was between Ruti and, in the end, Felix. But in the end, it doesn't come close to this man's achievements. On the top step of the podium is Mr. Shazoo Tom, and Tom takes the win. In the end, he had to fight for that. That was a tough race from Tom's perspective. The final 2 laps brought him that breathing room. Ruti made a mistake coming out of Ascari, low on ERS. He controlled the race better. That's what got him the race win. So Tom takes the win. And in the end, the sister team takes the championship from, of course, in terms of AlphaTauri, they lead the constructors, but the drivers' champion is Shazoo Jensen, who I can report at this stage in WR Legacy Division Round 2 is currently in 10th position. There you go.
Mercedes still gain a little points in terms of constructor standings. They gained 6 points on AlphaTauri.
Yeah, definitely so, but Tom takes the win from Ruti there in second, Felix there in third, 5,000ths of a second. Oh my god, if that straight was longer, Felix would have had him. Well, KO there in fourth did a fantastic job, as I have lost absolutely everything in terms of the standings.
As Tom is saying in the F1 channel, didn't mean to start medium, but I guess it works.
Guess it worked indeed. I've just clicked advance, and it got rid of the standings. The rundown of the order. And I've never seen that on this game ever. Codemasters, fix your shit. For God's sake. Just please.
it is EA now changed.
Oh yeah, EA Sports F1 or whatever. Sort your shit out, simply. Oh, honestly. Can't even get the standings up at the end of the bleeding race. Terrible. Absolutely disgraceful behaviour, but there we are. We can now speak to the man who finishes in P1. Had to fight for that. Of course, it is Mr. Shazoo Tom. And Tom, in the end, what brought you to that race win was the control of the ERS. That's what won you that race.
Well, yeah. I think at the end, to be honest, I didn't think Ruti would make it to the end on his mediums, but he made it quite nicely. Although I do think his tyres were going off a lot at the end. And yeah, I had a bit of ERS saved up. And sort of made him waste quite a bit the lap before, so, you know. Then on that 27, it was quite easy, and I still had a lot left for the last lap. But yeah, as I said, I think his tyres had massively gone off by then, and he was saving a bit of fuel, so yeah, it was quite simple. But I didn't actually mean to start on the mediums, but yeah, like, I don't know, I clicked pause, and it took me to the sprint race results screen, and I didn't know what to do, and then I finally got out of it, and it was too late to change tyres, so yeah, I don't know what happened there, but then it kind of worked, so yeah. I'm happy.
It did work. It did work. You finished in P1 in the end, and in the end, with that battle behind you, Ruti and Felix, you ended up, I think, nearly a second ahead of them come the end of the race, which was absolutely phenomenal stuff. And in the end, the control of the race was striking. You saved up, I think, it was the third last lap, and I was on board with you, and you were lifting in coal steam through the corners, and Ruti wasn't doing that ahead of you. And that, I think, was the point where I realised you were possibly on for that race win. And that pure control of the race is what makes a great driver, a good driver, look great.
Yeah, it was a mix of saving ERS to make it easier, and I knew his tyres would go off, and also, like, bringing the guys behind into it, and maybe if I go past and then Dara goes past as well, and then maybe they have a little fight and I easy go ahead and it's a win. But yeah, I didn't want to go for it into Ascari at any point. That's why I was lifting and coasting there, because it's you know, if it'd mess my line up going into Ascari, and then he'd just have an easy re-overtake on the main straight, and it would have been an easy way of just defending me, and I wouldn't be able to stay in front. But so that's why I was doing that as well. So yeah.
Yeah, it was, I think, phenomenal. And you do not sound 100% well whatsoever. There is something bothering you. I could definitely tell in your voice. Hopefully, though, whatever it is, you'll get better, of course, soon. And in the end, as I say, that control of the race brought you that race win. It was phenomenal stuff. So congratulations, of course, on that race win. Jesse, any questions?
Next week, we are racing on the Circuit of the Americas. Are you confident for that one?
Yeah, well, I mean, I have to say Monza's probably my best track, so I'm happy to get a result here. And then next week, USA, I'd say I'm quite good at as well. But yeah, I just wanted to win today, to be honest. USA, hopefully I do, but I think it'll be more of a battle with, like, Macho and Jensen will be back, and it'll be fun, so I'll look forward to it.
Congratulations on the victory then in Monza, and see you next week, hopefully.
Thank you.
And that is Tom, who was definitely sounding not 100% tonight whatsoever. But big thank you for him for the interview. We can now move to the man who finished millimeters away from P2. It is the man, of course, Mr. NLR Felix. And Felix, 5,000ths of a second between you and P2.
Yeah, I mean, what do you want me to say? Unfortunate to miss out by that small of a margin in the end. Although I think it won't actually matter. I'm pretty sure I got penalized for my race start. I probably deserved that as well. I completely missed my braking point in turn 1 and just went straight into someone else. And yeah, but I mean, in the end, I think after my mess in lap 1, I'm happy with the comeback to P3. The strategy was yeah, went in my favor with the safety cars, bringing me back into the race, and yeah, I took advantage of that.
Yeah, you definitely did take advantage of that as well. And that third safety car, I think, was absolutely crucial because I think you guys put it in on the safety car before, what, 2, 3 laps before. Your tyres were already warmed up. Then another safety car came out, I think it was, what, lap 14, 15? Somewhere around that point. It was certainly second half of the race. And that was, I think, a bit of stroke of luck on your end, certainly, for your tyres to get to the end, because you'd already pitted for that set of mediums, and you were probably thinking, if another safety car comes, I can get those tyres definitely to the end rather than just try and manage them.
Yeah, because of the sprint, I only had one medium for the actual race, so I wasn't sure what to do after I made my medium stop on lap 10. I mean, I thought I could try and nurse them to the end, which would have been a stretch without a second safety car. I was pretty much hoping for a late safety car so I can go to softs, or what happened in the end worked as well with the safety car halfway through the stint. Just yeah, saving me a bit of tire wear and allowing me to make those tires last.
Yeah, definitely so. And the final question from my end, certainly, is 5,000ths of a second away from Ruti in P2. If that straight line and that start finish line was actually where P1, the start finish line, the starting position for P1 was, do you think you would have got him?
He would have been P4 because he would have run out of fuel.
Oh yeah, he was running out of fuel at the end. That's a good point. That is a fair point. But in
That's
the end,
why I attacked him.
yeah, you
That's
attacked.
why I wouldn't even have gone for it, but my engineer, well, Jeff, or well, they changed his name now. I don't know what he's called now, but yeah, he said that Brutti was completely out of fuel going into Ascari, which obviously wasn't true. But I assumed that meant he is at least negative, so he's probably gonna run out halfway through the final corner, maybe. So I decided to send it, see if I can get him on the last lap, and I almost did.
Yeah, definitely. So it was very interesting to see that battle, and as I say, P2 I think would have been inches away. It was literally millimeters away from you, but still fantastic race from your perspective. I am gonna cut across to Jesse. Any questions?
As I can confirm now, you are reported by Ivo for the instant in turn 1, lap 1. But yeah, of course, next week we are heading to the Circuit of the Americas. Of course, you won in Singapore. Today, a P3 finish in the feature race and a P4 in the sprint race. Are you confident to set that form further?
I mean, I guess I have to at this point because if I can get a podium at Monza, I think I can get a podium anywhere. I think even though I'm not particularly quick at USA, I can maybe get take advantage of safety cars again. They seem to be quite the regular occurrence late on in the race, which might shake things up. And I think I'm good at taking advantage of that. While I don't necessarily have the pace, I can make that up through good strategy and good racecraft, hopefully.
Congratulations on the podium then in Monza, and see you next week, hopefully.
Thank you.
And I'm going to take a break away from interviewing our next person because we have, who has joined us because there's been a massive disconnection in the Legacy Division 1, Mr. Jensen, the FRL Season 16 champion, is here, waiting for his race to start for WR. Congratulations on the championship. It must feel bittersweet for you not turning up and winning the championship.
No, it's really, really annoying because I'm here having to restart a lobby, but yeah, decent season, I guess. Yeah, that's not much to say about it.
Yeah, 6 race wins so far this season. Obviously, 3 rounds to go following the Legacy Division tonight as well. Obviously, there's been a mass disconnection there as well. So, in terms of frame of mind, what is your expectations going into the final 3 race of the season, knowing that that pressure is now off?
I mean, just try and win again, I guess. Try and finish off all right for whatever races I do, if I do have to do Legacy again. But yeah, just drive as I usually do. Maybe do the first track or see what there is. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, maybe bring Montana out of retirement potentially and see how the Jensen and Tom battle will go. Like, I think it was last season or the season before, Tom and Montana had that battle in the Circuit of the Americas. But of course, congratulations on that championship win. I know WR is going to be starting very soon indeed. But Jesse, did you want to ask any questions to Jensen?
Not really. Good luck in WOR and congratulations on the season 16 championship.
And
Thank you.
yeah, now he is gonna sweat, I am sure, Portugal. Hopefully, it's gonna be a good race. Hopefully, people don't lag out. But again, that is what happens when you've got crossplay.
Yeah,
James.
I'm probably gonna cry and sweat.
You need an engineer.
Well, Tom,
English engineer.
Oh yeah. I can join if you want.
That'd be
terrible.
ideal. You could drive.
Oh my god, hop on your account. Come on.
Terrible. I'm going to tell the WR guys this. This is terrible for Team Shazoo's perspective in terms of their Legacy Division chances for sure. But we, of course, will let them focus, of course, on WR Legacy Division. We'll get back on track to the next man, who, of course, finished the race here in FRL. And I just need to get the standings up because I don't know who finished in what position because, obviously, the game didn't let me run through the rest of the order. But I believe
They are already updated.
Hang on. Oh, they're already updated. Fantastic, the standings, which is good. I'm just literally flicking back to where it was. We can now speak to the man, in the end, who finished in P7. And that, of course, that man is Mr. FRL Charlie. And Charlie, for a good deal of that second half of the race, you were P5. Did the tyres just let go late on?
They didn't let go. They let go about the last 5 laps, but the main issue was Keke making the move on me going into turn 1 on the restart, because from like 4 tenths back, he went onto my inside, and then he got ahead, and then I slightly tapped him going into turn 2. And then after that, he pretty much made me drain all of my battery to try to stay in the second. And then at that point, I knew that I was done for, and everyone was overtaking me left, right, and centre.
Yeah, and obviously with the tyres letting go the last 5 laps, you didn't really found at your pace in terms of that second half. But in the end, you had that stroke of luck with that third safety car. You ended up, I think, in P5. You were up there, certainly, for the first half of that, the final 11 laps. And again, the tyres let go. So, considering how the first half of the race went, I think, certainly, P7 from your perspective is pretty good.
I mean, I was a bit disappointed with the final safety car, because I knew that if we were going to the end, I would have been on for probably a better position than what I finished in now, because there was at least, I think, like 6 people ahead of me who still need to make a new pit stop for mediums or hards. But yeah, definitely, I'm happy with the result, and with Indigo P6 as well. So it's another overall good amount of points for the team again in this race.
Yeah, definitely so, and obviously brings, I think, Aston Martin maybe into contention in terms of the constructors as well, even though you're still way behind in terms of the constructors. Obviously, points gained, Jensen not here, of course, the AlphaTauri team losing points with Zale finishing down the field. That is good news for the Mercedes guys as well. We will, of course, have a team representative from Mercedes here as well, which we'll come on to very soon. But Jesse, any questions?
Yeah, next week, of course, in USA we are racing. Are you confident going into that?
Oh, I'm really confident. I raced there 2 days ago with people like Ivo and that, and my pace was fairly good, and I feel like I could possibly try fight for a top 5 there next week, maybe.
That would be great for Aston Martin. But yeah, hopefully see you next week then.
And that was Mr. FRL Charlie. And we can now go back a couple of positions because the man who was joined, he always joins late for interviews, but the man in the end who finished, and I'm going to have to scroll back again on the standings because I don't know where he finished. Give me a second. This is the problem of clicking. Oh, he's literally gone. Oh, terrible. He doesn't want to be interviewed. That's disgraceful.
He was-
He was P5 though, name changer. Oh well.
Ivo next then.
Yeah, the next man, and in fact the final, or one of the final men to come on to, of course, is Mr. Ivo, and Ivo, P8 from your perspective, qualified P6. I'd say, honestly, from your perspective, rather disappointing.
Yeah, the first it started out with the qualifying. I know my wheel wasn't working. I was trying to steer, but it didn't. So I had to steer on the straight and almost went into the wall, so lost a lot of time. Then my television gave a warning or something that it was gonna turn off, so I had to, press a button or something. Lost lots of time. Then the sprint race, I got a good start, better than from Felix, but yeah, it was really smothered on the outside, so I had to go on the grass. Lost 3 positions, then just chaotic in turn 1, everyone hitting each other, and then I just think finished P6 in the end. Then future race, I had again a really good start, but now I was on the inside, so I could have go to P4. Then I think it was Felix. Yeah, Felix, he hit me in turn 1, and I had to go to the escape rope because I just got pushed there. Then after that there was, I think, nothing really happened. Then there was a safety car. I decided to go to the hards, and then my pace was just terrible. I know my pace in the sprint was decent, on the mediums as well. Then I go for the hards, and then it just was terrible. Then there was, I think, another safety car. And I thought that my mediums were 1 or 2 laps old, so I pitted for them. And in the end, they were 10 laps old, so I had to go back in. But yeah, I lost a lot of places there because if I would stay out, I think it was P5, P6. And then just after the restart, my pace was again terrible. But yeah, in the end, P8, yeah, this is the maximum I could have got tonight.
Yeah, P8 I think is a good position out of a very bad sort of race from your perspective, a very unlucky race, I've got to say, from your perspective as well. But in the end, more points for Ferrari as well. Ferrari, of course, are up there in terms of the constructors fight, trying to get up there, of course, in the mid pack, I think, in terms of the constructors. So I can't even get my words out. Final 3 races of the season. What are your hopes for the final 3 races?
Canada, USA, or Yakota. I know my pace is really switching there. In the qualifying, I don't know if I'm quick between these guys, but for my feeling, I'm just decent pace. And I know the race sometimes I'm just so slow in the first thing, then so fast. So yeah, Mexico, I'm just so slow there, so I don't think it'll be good. Abu Dhabi, yeah, my pace is also switching there. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good. So yeah, I hope we'll finish P3 in the constructors, and maybe I hope to stay top 5 in the standings, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we will have to wait and see indeed. Mr. Jesse, any questions?
You sort of answered already my standard question. So yeah, hopefully you are racing again next week, Ivo.
Yeah, I am.
That is good. Sorry, I'm just doing something else in the background. Does anybody want to try and fill in for something while I try and get a graphic up? There we are. It's sorted anyways. It is sorted. But thank you very much, Ivo. Go and enjoy your evening.
Yeah, thanks for coming as well, guys, again.
You are very welcome
problem.
indeed. We can now speak to the final man, who, in the end, I think is not going to be my friend after what I said on the live stream when he retired. It is Mr. Macho. And Macho, what on earth happened?
Well, like I said, I was just weaving about. Then, yeah, I saw like Keke go. So I went to the left, and Ruti exactly at that moment went to the right, and it was just unfortunate. I hit him. No one was at wrong. If it was someone to blame for it, was probably myself. But well, I was pissed off, so I left. not thinking about Mercedes, AMG, Petronas of one team because we were still in like championship fight. Yeah, maybe not the smartest thing to do, but oh well.
Yeah, I think it was a frustrating evening from your perspective, because up until that point it was going rather well, and of course the safety cars put you back a few positions. I think it was Rage as well on the back of you, potentially had a really good run down towards turn number 1, and in the end, you mentioned there with Ruti and everyone, just got caught up in that collision down the straight. The first rule of racing, don't make contact down the straight, because it's just idiotic, quite simply, and I think lessons will be learned from that. Of course, the stewards report. But going ahead with Mercedes certainly in mind, still leading the championship in terms of the constructors, how is your role now for the Mercedes guys for the final 3 rounds?
Well, I guess we're like what is it, like 20? No, well, I have no clue. 29 points behind
Yeah,
now.
28, 29, I think it is.
Yeah. So well, I need to do a pretty good job beating Jensen and Zero in the last few races. And I guess I'm gonna try my best. There's nothing to race for now, so it might be even easier to drive, to be honest.
In fact, actually, it is a lot more, because Keki crashed out final lap of the race, so he didn't actually finish. So the gap actually is 33 points, I think, including Zabel's fastest lap. Which is
well, that is fantastic news.
Yeah, it's a race wins advantage, basically.
Even more work to do.
Even more work to do. I'm sure that work will be, taken on board. Of course, tonight, just rule it out. Next week is the game changer, of course. And Jesse, any questions?
Looking at USA next week, of course. Are you confident for that one?
Yeah, I'm always confident around there, but well, knowing that like PSG have done like 1,000 races around there, Tom and Jensen are going to be very quick, so it will probably be hard, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, hope to see you next week then in Kota.
Yeah, go and enjoy your weekend, Macho.
Thank you very much.
You are very welcome indeed, and that rounds us off very nicely indeed. It's only us two now in the comms box, unless Name Changer decides to come in for another interview. Potentially, I'm banking on him to come in at one point, but hopefully he has gone elsewhere. Hopefully he's preoccupied with something, i.e. maybe pumping at the gym or something. But that rounds us off very neatly indeed. Of course, for the 4th last race of the season, of course, the final sprint race of the season is done in Monza. We now go, of course, to Circuit of the Americas next week, Jesse, and it is a track that I'm very familiar with because I did this last night. PSGL F2 finale, 4 drivers fighting out the title there. Not maybe the same here in FRL, champion's already decided, but Kota is a track where overtaking should be good, racing should be good, and hopefully, dare I say it, race of the season?
I mean, we saw it, I think, on last game when we last visited Kota. Wow, what a race that was.
Yeah, it was a fantastic race. I remember as well, I think it was the season before, Montana and Tom, if I'm not mistaken. Final lap of the race, Montana had to overtake him to win the championship. Overtook him, down him towards turn number 12. Probably one of the best moments I've seen, certainly in the Circuit of the Americas, certainly in FRL as well. And speaking of that graphic that I had, by the way, it hasn't saved it. Hang on. Give me a second. I can't even find it anymore. Is it in here? No. Where's it gone? Oh, I haven't saved it. Terrible. Been doing all of this commentating, and I haven't even saved the graphic. Anyways, hopefully, I'm just going to look, and hopefully, I'm going to have to crop it down, because somebody has made it too big, and somebody has also rotated Jensen's face, which is not good. So this will look quite awkward if I don't get this fixed.
Tom, with this sprint race win and feature race win, is also in the fight for second now in the championship.
He is, and he's missed the last couple of races, I think, as well. So he's well back on track, I think, to try And which way is it? Oh no, I don't want the Jensen upside down. Oh god. There we go. Hang on. I'm going to transition it in. I'll eventually get there. It's technology and all that. But I hope we can get this in. I hope it's actually fitting. Ah, it is. It is. There he is. The man there. Zook has stolen the graphic, I'm sure, from the WOR Season 13 graphic, which he won the title in. But, of course, Jensen is Season 16 champion. Drivers' World Champion, of course. Congratulations to the Brit with F1 Esports Challenges, I'm sure, in mind going forward. Jensen, phenomenal driver, and hopefully he can just try and assert his dominance in the final 3 races of the season. And I couldn't think of any better man to deserve the title than him, because he's been so far really consistent. Last couple of races haven't gone to plan. Obviously didn't turn up this week, but before that he was unstoppable.
Yeah, seeing the results, P1, P2, P1, 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 and then of course Netherlands, where the streak ended, and then P2 in Singapore. Really consistent by him, but yeah, looking at next season, I think Tom will also be a one to watch, because look at his results. In Monaco, of course, he won on track, but got disqualified after that, and then second, and then of course here this week in Monza, P1.
Yeah, P1. Oh, yeah, Tom certainly P1 out on track tonight in Monza. Jensen didn't even turn up. Well, he did for an interview, realising that he won the Drivers' Championship. Rather fortunate, by the way, that Legacy Division did screw up in terms of the mass disconnection for that. But I can report Legacy Division at this stage is on a break, apparently. I don't even know what's going on anymore in Legacy Division. Have we got anything? The grid finder advert's playing. I'm just trying to see where he is. That's all I'm seeing. But I have a feeling they're restarting the race.
He was out of Q2, he said.
He was out of Q2, so I think he qualified. I think it was 13th he qualified. Just trying to have a look at this. Anyways, I'm going to talk to Jesse off in the background. I'm absolutely sure. I will try and get this. They're just running through the adverts, I think, before the race actually begins. So that might be why. There's another advert. How many adverts do they have to run? Honestly, I might be doing this on Friday, by the way, so I need to get used to how many adverts they are actually running out on track. But we can end the stream off here, of course. A big thank you to Mr. Jesse for joining me in the commentary box. We're not going to leave you any longer than that. Hopefully, everything will go according to plan next week. Hopefully, OBS doesn't die on us like it did just before the end of the sprint race. Everything got going according to plan. Hopefully, the sound was okay. And if it is, of course, we will have a look at next week in terms of the Circuit of the Americas. But a big thank you to Mr. Jesse. Big thank you to everyone that tuned in. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. Tick that notification bell, of course, if you're brand new to the channel. And we are going to see you next week, of course, in the Circuit of the Americas. So, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, goodbye.